Morning.
Hi, Dave.
Good to
How
see
are
you
you?
again.
Hi,
Barbara.
Chris.
Good
Good
to
to
see
see you. Glad you're here with us today.
Well,
This is
thank
such
you.
an awesome morning.
It's great out here.
It's a beautiful place. Tell me a little bit more about Echo Canyon. What's out here?
Well, Echo Canyon, most people think of the lake, the reservoir, the fishing. In the campground up here, we have a 2.5-mile hiking trail that goes up through a really remote canyon, really pretty, comes back onto the road, and then you can walk back on 2 different trails. You can also do some biking, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go from here up to Spring Valley State Park, 10 miles on a back road. Beautiful drive. I think you're going to like it.
We're fortunate enough to have great weather for our visit, but this area is actually known to have some huge storms on occasion. In fact, in 1873, an incredible windstorm blew away an entire tent camp called Moodyville, leaving not a trace that anyone had ever lived there. It wasn't until a few years later that more permanent settlements were established.
I love the canyon walls. It's beautiful. What is that rock?
Basalt.
Volcanic.
Volcanic.
So did this all blow up out of the ground once upon a time?
Well, there were other volcanoes. Basalt is usually pushed up out of the ground more gradually.
How about people? I haven't seen anything, any ruins or anything, but has this place been inhabited for a long time?
Well, there were prehistoric peoples in this area. Haven't really found too much in the way of habitation sites. The Desert Archaic came through here. The Fremont people may have had some small villages out of Eagle Valley. There's been an excavation ongoing there for the last few years. And there are some pictographs on these canyon walls if you know where to look. Hard to find, they're very faint.
We come over a rise and drop into the gorgeous Rose Valley, named because of the many rose bushes that grow here. When in bloom in the spring, they cast a pink tinge throughout the valley.
Lots of ranching in this area, Barb?
There is ranching since 1865 in this area, 1 year after Panaca was settled. Oh, look up ahead. This is the Pioneer Register.
Now, what is a Pioneer Register, Barb?
Well, the old wagon route that came from Utah to Pioche came through this canyon that we'll be riding through. And the pioneers would stop here, take on water, let their horses rest, and then they'd continue on down towards Echo Canyon. But while they were here, they would sign their names. You can see a few signatures. There's J.C. Woodward, November 1872. That's probably one of the earlier signatures on that wall.
There's October 18th, 1891.
February 2, 1878.
So was this a major route for the wagon trains?
This was. The supply wagons and the stagecoach would come through this way because it wasn't as steep a grade as Highway 319 that goes from Panaca to Utah today.
Just a beautiful canyon area.
Oh, look at that. Look at the way it splits. Look at how, is that basalt on the top?
Basalt on the top and the top underneath.
It just
layers
cuts
are
it
just
straight
gorgeous.
across. That is so cool.
This area was geologically active with volcanoes from 37 to 64 million years ago. And there were just flow after flow after flow.
We ride for a stretch following Meadow Valley Wash and into Eagle Valley. Here we enter the outskirts of the small community of Ursine.
Right ahead here is the historic cemetery for Ursine. The people who live here just call it Eagle Valley.
Now, why do they call it Eagle Valley instead of Ursine?
Oh, it was originally called Eagle Valley because of all the eagles that fly over this area. But when the post office was going to when they were going to have a post office here, there was already an Eagle Valley, Nevada. That later became Carson City. So the folks who lived here had to choose a new name for themselves. And the story goes that they just opened a dictionary and pointed at a word, and the word they pointed to was Ursine. So that's the name of the town.
What does Ursine mean?
Bear-like. And we don't have any bears that live in this area.
That's funny.
All right.
Here we are at the intersection, 2 more miles up this way to Spring Valley. And
Well, thank you.
thank
It was
you,
great
Dave.
fun.
It was a beautiful ride.
Thank you, Chris.
Barbara.
Yes,
Be
enjoy
safe
the
on your
rest
way
of your
back.
day.